All right, our first full prediction of the night, Alabama going on the road to Florida State. Again, away with the neutral home and home or neutral site bullcrap in these non-con games. Give it to me home and home style like Alabama and Florida State are doing in this matchup. Number one key to the matchup for me, boys, I do not think Thomas Castellanos has ever shown a consistent ability to create any sense of verticality in the passing game, okay? 25 and in, super accurate. 25 and in can do some really fun stuff with the arm talent. But as long as Thomas Castellanos is playing quarterback in Florida State, particularly in this matchup, I do not trust their ability to throw the ball down the field, which means we are relying on a run game to create all of our explosives in a four-quarter football game in which I think you're going to have to put up a lot of points. I don't think it serves well for Florida State with his limitations in the vertical passing game, boys.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think a big key to this matchup is which running back is going to complement the quarterback the best. I think Alabama has the edge in that regard just because of their line of scrimmage play. Nothing to do with either the running back, just because I think Alabama is going to be great on the defensive front. I think Alabama is going to be really good on the offensive line as well. On top of that, they're not going to have their starting running back heading into this matchup, so that's kind of a ding to that. But even then, I think Alabama is really going to be able to dictate this football game because of how well they're going to run the game and how well they're going to stop Florida State's run game, because at that point, if you're putting it on at the feet of Thomas Castellanos, I don't know if I love that matchup going into there.
Yeah, the most important key to this matchup for me is how quickly, if at all, does Florida State's roster get overwhelmed by Alabama's talent? We know what it is. On paper, these two teams are not on the same level. Alabama is far superior. Alabama should come in and roll them over like we've all expected. The key is going to be how quickly or how much of a fight does Florida State put up. You've got your home state to defend. You've got your home stadium to defend. You've got, Mike Norvell's legacy to defend. There's all of these things that you're going to try to defend. Can you resist the talent depth that you are facing?
All right, boys, who's the X factor in this football game? For me, knowing what Florida State's going to be, right, knowing the history of Gus Malzahn, knowing the history of Thomas Castellanos, ladies and gentlemen, you better get ready for some option. You better get ready for some quarterback run. And I know Deontay Lawson is going to be the vocal leader, the green dot on this football team and on this defense. But I don't know if I'm ready to give him 100% of the workload week one after coming off the knee injury from a year ago. I know he told us he's about 90% going into camp. I know I expect him to play in this football game. But if I'm putting all of the workload of we can't have you come off the field at the linebacker position in this game, it's going to be in Justin Jefferson's hands.
Same note.
And I think he's great. I think Justin Jefferson is ready to step up to the plate and play big-time football for this Alabama roster. I've watched it on tape in mop-up duty in the last couple of years. I've watched it in the second rotation type of snaps. He's a damn good linebacker, really instinctual. I think he's going to be all over the field on Saturday. He's going to be the X factor.
Yeah, I mean, the way Thomas Castellanos has kind of talked this offseason and whether or not it's for show or to hype up his team or not, he very clearly thinks that he's going to be the difference maker in this game. He very clearly thinks that he's going to be able to do things that Alabama has not seen before that is going to elevate Florida State. There's nothing better at hindering a mobile quarterback than a solid Mike linebacker that can shut down whether or not you're running draw plays or option plays or throwing over the middle.
Or just as simple as spying him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's athletic enough to spy this.
Yeah,
game.
I mean, they're probably just going to run a one-man spy on him the entire game. So I think that is what makes Justin Jefferson the X factor. Because if you shut down that, you kind of shut down a Gus Malzahn offense in particular. Anytime a quarterback hasn't really been able to run, Gus Malzahn offenses have very struggled.
And I know there's going to be people that listen to this episode and they're going to say, Alabama struggled with Vandy last year. They ran a bunch of the option. The film didn't tell us that. The film told us they lost to Vandy because they couldn't get off the field on 3rd and 7.
Correct.
They were 12 for 19 was Vandy in that football game on 3rd down. That ain't you getting your butt whooped on 1st down. That's you getting your butt whooped on 3rd.
With a 4th down touchdown, by the way.
And a 4th down touchdown.
So they converted a couple of 4th downs, I think, in that game. So yeah, they could not get off the field.
Yeah.
Akin to the Ohio State matchup, I think the X factor for me is Gurmy Bernard. I think that Ryan Williams,
obviously. Gurmy or Jeremy?
I thought it was Jeremy.
Jeremy? I think it's Jeremy.
Okay, Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah.
I think
me being the corrective name guy. My bad.
Bernard. Yeah. Alabama's Bernard. I think that Ryan Williams is going to require a lot of attention, rightfully so, because of how explosive of a playmaker he can be and has shown to be over the years. So I think that really adds, not pressure, but it creates opportunity for Bernard to have a big game for them. I think that Ty Simpson is certainly going to be looking his way. A little safety valve, if you will, for a guy making his first career start.
I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I think we got ourselves a coming out party of brewing on Saturday. I think we got ourselves a coming out party. I think Ty Simpson throws for 350 yards and 4 tuds on Saturday. You heard it here first. Unless it doesn't happen.
Ooh. I said that the key factor of this game was going to be how quickly does Florida State get overwhelmed by this talent, because I do think it'll happen at some point in this game. I don't think it's happening in the first quarter, though. I think Florida State takes a lead at the end of the first quarter, carries it into the second quarter. Heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Thomas Castellanos has 3 turnovers and becomes the meme of the weekend. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Ooh.
I think it might happen. Yeah, those quotes are coming right back to the timeline, like immediately, as if to answer the question, the age-old question of, why don't you say, why you shouldn't say that right there, all for the possible outcome of a potential win, which we don't think is going to happen. All right, score prediction. I've got Alabama in this football game 31-14. They roll.
So I had there's 2 scenarios that play out my head for this game. Option A is that Alabama jumps on them early, kills them, crushes them, never looks back, and Florida State plays catch up a little bit, has some nothing touchdowns at the end, kind of makes the score look a little better. Option B is that Florida State actually comes out, punches them in the mouth, crowd might rattle Ty Simpson a little bit, maybe have a lead after the end of the first quarter, maybe take a lead in the halftime, but at the end of the game, Alabama is just going to roll on that. Either way, 34-17 is the outcome.
I know we're getting to yours. I will be really intrigued to see how this Florida State fan base shows up for this football game.
Oh, they'll be loud.
I know, but after a 2-10 season, they're going to be. That's how it's a test for them,
right? No, absolutely.
Like, are you going to show up?
But like, it's
football
also,
fans are delusional.
They are.
It's also week 1. It's the return of college football. You got
You're right.
You got Alabama coming to town. You're going to show up for that.
What do you got for me?
I think it's Alabama 33-17, and I don't think that Alabama's going to get off to the super hot start. Like, I don't think it's going to be all cylinders are clicking at the very beginning of the game and they're just cooking. I think this is more so of this team is going to start rolling by as the second half creeps in, and as we approach the fourth quarter, that's when I think that you'll see this Kalen DeBoer offense really start to heat things up and start to put some more points on the board. So that's why I have it 33-17, but I see that 17 coming from a late touchdown from Florida State, a garbage time touchdown, something along the lines of that. So I don't think that it's relatively close, but I think that you're going to see some moments where it's like, oh, maybe we had too high of expectations for this Alabama offense, but I think this is an offense that is just going to only get better as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think it's a thing where you see your Florida State is either going to score all their points in the first half or all their points in the second half. I think that's the type of game you're going to see.